Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the star line by a reading and literacy specialist and an educational consultant. Her latest project is The Reading House. We welcome Marla Conn.
Hi, Sean.
Let's go beyond the mic. You formed your company because teachers' classroom needs weren't being met by book publishers. Why is reading such a passionate topic for you?
I just feel that reading is, probably the most important thing that we can learn as a child. It helps us get through life, and it's when people have difficulty reading or illiterate, it makes things a lot harder. So I thought that, one of my biggest thrills was watching the light bulb go on when kids learned how to read. And I do believe that every person can learn how to read. So I've always made it my mission to be really active in that.
In developing the Reading House, you wanted to keep it simple, but engaging to young readers.
Yeah, simplicity is important not only for the reader, but also for the adult reading with the child. And so I felt like if it was too difficult, that it wouldn't be successful. So try to figure out, the simplest way to get the ideas across, starting with letter recognition, print awareness, and moving through decoding and blending and sight word vocabulary, and ultimately fluency and comprehension. The teacher, parent, adult guides in the boxes were important for me to give the adult a little bit of help and maybe some confidence in working with children, because I know it can be scary, unnatural.
Now, my sister is a teacher, and one issue that she has is kids' learning patterns are so different. One may take to one thing while another may not even get it during that. How has the Reading House helped teachers so that sometimes complex or maybe even simple ideas can force those light bulbs to go on for our kids?
So a really big thing with this program is that I really thought about different learning modalities. In the beginning, there's a lot of tracing, saying, and looking. So you're using, tactile, verbal, and visual senses to internalize the letters and the letter discrimination. Listening to rhyming words, saying rhyming words, using rhyming words. And a lot of the activities also include some, fun tactile engagement. So I think that this series definitely lends itself to all different kinds of learners.
With the Reading House, kids are given the beginning steps to succeed. What makes this series different than any other?
So I think the biggest difference, there are a couple of differences. The biggest difference I see is the continuity of the characters and the setting and the plot development. So this whole series kind of has like this real developing familiarity with characters and where they are in the story. The characters you see in the beginning in the letters, you're also going to encounter throughout the stories. Ending and finally with what I think is the best part of this set is some real world reading with science context. So taking all of what the child has learned and developed a couple of box sets that include the characters in a science context that includes adaptations and survival. And so with that, we also include some comprehension strategies that are useful for reading even through adulthood. And I think a lot of what these reading programs lack is purpose in reading. And so it was really important for me to have kids be able to sequence events and tell what happens first, next, and last, identify the main idea in detail. So they're really being asked to read for purpose and make text to self and text to world connections.
Now, you've worked with publishers to address challenges. What's the next solution you want to tackle?
I think that COVID has given us a lot of opportunity to have parents and children work together. And I think that's something that does lack a lot in the classroom. Being a classroom teacher, teachers can only do so much. And so I think that this has given, the way the world is now in our new normal is showing parents an appreciation for the teacher and I think a lot of gratitude for the job they do.
Can you tell me about the joy not only of being a teacher, but helping teachers all around the world?
Yeah, so my dad always told me, Marla Beth, you can't save the world. I was always, even as a little girl, wanting to teach people how to read and go to a nursing home. And I know now as an adult that you can't save the world. However, you can go one at a time and pay it forward and make a huge difference. And I think that teaching kids how to read is probably, other than feeding children and keeping people alive, I think teaching kids how to read and teaching teachers how to teach kids how to read is probably the number one most satisfying thing for me that I could do and to make an impact.
We're joined beyond the mic by author Marla Conn. Her project is The Reading House. Do you remember the name of that first child? The one that you connected with, the one where you saw the light go on and their life was changed forever.
Yeah, so I had this girl, Cassandra, back from Jamaica, Queens, who is actually my Facebook friend right now, who reached out to me years ago. She was absolutely darling. She reached out to me to let me know, what an impact I made on her. And I had always remembered her as just being this, bright child that was just thriving. And so I think Cassandra, I taught her how to read, and once she learned how to read, that child could do anything. And I know she's successful today, and that makes me happy.
Time's running out, so it's time for the Rocky Nate. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure. What kind of dog do you have?
Golden Doodle.
Name of the teacher who inspired you?
Mrs. Klein.
Since you love reading, favorite book of all time?
Tuesdays with Morrie.
What's the fictional place where you would like to visit?
Oh, Happy Town. It's from the Reading House.
What's the one thing administrators of schools have forgotten about being a teacher?
They have forgotten about humility.
What's your favorite color?
Brown.
Everyone has one. What's the favorite sticker you love to give a young child?
A heart.
And tea or coffee?
Coffee.
She would love to visit Happy Town. Thanks, Mrs. Klein, for guiding her and loves to give her students heart stickers. Author of The Reading House, Marla Conn. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic.